Overtime and overdue. Ain't no sleep that is on news. Been outside, that's with the crew. Make my night up on the move. In the morning, get the news. She come home, I heard the Zoom. I step outside, I need my peace.
You know, normally I would say, you already know who it is. We back in this bitch. So on and so forth. But we're going to talk about a new wave of consciousness. The new wave of consciousness. However you want to take it. We know that we are 21st century in our thinking, or should be, or will be forced to be. It's two energies that run the world at this particular time in consciousness. We know that the first one is hip-hop. The sound frequencies that are produced all around the world. So the same way that we study mythology and we study these deities, we understand through hip-hop, these deities are now given a voice. So the voice of these deities are speaking through the vessels of these beings that are in the performance of hip-hop. So for example, let's just say Magu. Magu is a Eastern deity from Japan. She is a Japanese deity or feminine goddess of psychedelic plants. Just to, give a brief definition, Magu can be invoked from within, as we speak about. However, Magu also has a voice in today's times through some woman in hip-hop and the Japanese arts, if you can get where I'm going. Hip-hop is the body that gives the deities the voice to speak. So the same way we study, we can use hip-hop as also a vehicle of study to observe and study the nature of these beings through their music. The second energy, which is more underground, is ASMR. And the reason I say ASMR is because it is a universal phenomenon. Even if it's on YouTube, even if people don't understand it, you can say hip-hop is the base levels. ASMR is the crown levels, in the sense of it just subtle sounds for those who don't understand it. It's just somebody just doing something as simple as tapping on something, and they're producing an effect within you. Very subtle sounds that produce profound effects within through the central nervous system, triggering you to have pleasurable sensations. Nonetheless, some people can tune into it, but others can't because the vibration is very, very subtle. However, it is a universal phenomenon. ASMR exists in every corner of this planet, whether people understand it or not. The internet has brought us together so that not only can we observe and study each each other.
First night 21, last night
But this is what creates the evolution of consciousness, because we are able to pull from all sources of life. So in these times, going to 2020 forward, ever since 2017, because if you add up the numbers of 2017, you're going to get the number 1. So that was the start of a new cycle. 2017, that year. So for the next process, year 1, year 2, year 3, because of course we know 2017, you can break the numerology down. You can break the numerology down variously for 2018, so on and so forth. We know that 2018 is a lunar year because it breaks down to the number 2. But we have to understand this is the second phase of a new consciousness. The reason I know this is because the very first video I released in 2017 was called The New Aeon. For anybody who has not seen that video, that's my very first live stream back in 2017. I spoke about the new Aeon because that was an energy that was being promoted from within for us to study these various Aeons, for us to study the Aeon of Osiris, the Aeon of Set, the Aeon of Isis, and the Aeon of Set. Osiris, Isis, Horus, Set. I think I may have said that backwards. You're right. Osiris, Isis, Horus, Set. The 4 Aeons. The Aeon of the Godfather, Osiris, the Lord of the Dead, which was all about religion and tradition. So although we may not practice these things, these religions, we still study and observe these religions and the phenomena that are produced to have an understanding of it without judgment. We only seek to understand things. We don't seek to necessarily have attachments and grow, okay, I'm over here and not over there. We understand that everything can be studied and observed, and wisdom can be extracted from all things. So we view all things in mutual respect. We don't have a fighting nature on life or people, because we know that the inner fight, that's where the battlefield is. So outwardly, we seek to be as agreeable as possible, because all things has wisdom within it. Every situation has wisdom embedded it within it. All things are able to touch the soul if only we stay open enough and not attached to the circumstances and environments around us. Or in other words, this is called fourth dimensional thinking. So getting back to it, Osiris, tradition and religion. Isis, the Aeon of magic, the Aeon of witchcraft, right? The Aeon of the dark arts, the black arts. Remember, Isis was able to resurrect Osiris. So she was a sorcerer. She knew how to resurrect the dead. That is the magical dark arts, right? That is one of the forbidden arts. I speak about the forbidden arts, on my website. Nonetheless, once we get to Horus, we see that this is a child. This is Osiris, reborn into a new body. This is the consciousness of Osiris in the body of a youth, a young king, as we see in today's times. In all times, the youth have always been high in intelligence. We have more young millionaires in today's times than I believe ever in the history of the world. There are more people able to access the natural resources of the earth through the use of the internet than ever before. We are truly in the golden age once we understand how all of these things work, and not only work, but how they work together. Once we harness the understanding of how these things work together, we understand everyone is connected through the internet. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a laptop. Everyone has access to the library. Everyone has access to one of their schools. This is an age we are in. There would be no internet if it wasn't for the earth. Don't get caught up in the idea there are satellites in space. That's propaganda. Everything is coming from the earth. There are wires and lines in the earth because the earth is generating that electricity in order for all this to exist. The earth is conducting that electricity the same way the body is conducting electricity and the pulses from the earth. Lastly, we get to the Aeon of Set. Set represents the old religion. Set is the elder or the older god. We always hear about the young gods or the new gods, such as in Greek mythology, you got the Olympians and you got the Titans. The Titans were the elders, and they were put in bondage by the Olympians, which was their children. It was a turning of a new age. But we know the tides always turn. So the Titans will always be set free and the holy war will always be going on. Again, the 21st century brought in the energy of the holy war. As we know, this is the thing, and we see there has been holy wars going on for the entire 21st century, and it will continue to go on because there are energies that feed on the energy of war and bloodshed. Nonetheless, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It only can be manipulated. So the same way, the Aeon of Set represents the way that this energy can be used on the dark side. You can say Osiris is the Jedi. Set is the Sith Lord. So they will always clash in ideology because Set represents an older time. Set isn't necessarily rebelling against Osiris. Just because he wants to create rivalry. Set is holding true to his religion the same way Osiris stands true to his. They both stand true to what they stand on. This is okay. I see what you're preaching. So I'm going to offset you. They all are true. Set is an older deity. Osiris represents the newer age, the fifth dimensional thinking, where everything is mental. Set represents, okay, I understand things are mental, but we also have to understand the earth. We have to understand how to access the elements of the earth. We have to do a little bit more than think positive. We have to know how to arrange our thoughts and organize our thoughts so we can execute higher ideologies. Lastly, we can always take things back to the pyramids. The pyramid sits at the center of the planet as a symbol of our highest levels of consciousness. This is what the pyramid represents. All people can look to the pyramid and see the future, even though the pyramid was created in the past. You can gaze upon the pyramid and see your future. Like, this is our potential. This is something that was done, and this is something that will continue to be observed and studied because the mathematics were so advanced. This destroys the ideology that we were once living in caves. The caveman cannot build pyramids. So either the caveman is a whole nother history, or it is completely false, regardless of your ideology. We understand anyone can gaze upon these structures that are built with the resources of the earth, but using mental science. So we understand they were not laborers like we would think of laborers today, like using tools and metal and heavy artillery and carrying big tons of stone. They understood that the stone was too heavy for humans to hold. I believe the stones are like 20 tons. So you're not going to have human beings holding up 20 tons of stone and carrying it from, long distances. Then somebody has to arrange this. This is why these things are pondered on. Okay, if they didn't have tools, if they didn't have the technology that we have today, how were these structures able to be constructed? Well, we kind of deconstructed the mythology when we explored the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which explained exactly how the pyramids were built. So if you are unsure about that, go back to my very first Emerald Tablets of Thoth video where we explained the building of the pyramids directly from Thoth's mouth, or his pen. Thoth is always known as the scribe, or the messenger, the one who is elusive, the one who is always there. Like Thoth has always been there, just like Set has always been there. These are very, very old deities. These are very, very old spirits. These are spirits that still work through vessels of human beings in today's times, because we can clearly see it. It's not that people just one day become smart, or you join a Masonic lodge, or you join a fraternity or an organization, and you automatically become smarter and learn how to do things. In today's times, people are connected with extraterrestrial intelligence. It is purely a mental experience. So we see, because we have all of this information available to us, we see people living out various scenarios of existence. You have those of us who are embracing nature. You have those of us who are embracing technology. You have those of us who are embracing the luxuries of the earth. You have all people from all walks of life embracing it all, and it's all together through the use of technology, through the use of internet, through the use of electricity, through the use of the elements. We know we are the microcosm, so therefore we have the ability to harness the elements as well through the use of our thought, through the use of intelligent thought, through the use of extraterrestrial intelligence, to receive downloads from sources beyond physical sight. This has always been the way we have been able to do miraculous things throughout history. When we look at miraculous people, when we look at miraculous feats, these people were always connected to an extraterrestrial intelligence. Now, we don't have to get into aliens. We understand that we come from the stars and we descended upon this planet. So we know what the aliens are. We know that we all come from that. So therefore, whenever we speak about aliens, we're not speaking about gray people with big heads. We are talking about our own origins. So to connect with extraterrestrial intelligence is to connect with your own origins. We all have the speckles of stardust within us, that we can tap into these chambers of stardust that we all have within us to always be guided to our celestial home, as we call heaven. So the Aeon of Osiris, fifth dimensional thinking. The Aeon of Set, fourth dimensional thinking. Fourth dimensional thinking just means that if we place our minds in the mind of Set, Set is a mathematician. Remember, Set was only vilified later on. Set was never looked at as villain until later on. Originally, this deity was the ultimate mathematician. He was the ultimate protector. He was the embodiment of the energy of Saturn, as we come to learn through astrology, or the root chakra that we have come to learn through alchemy. Set, being the ultimate mathematician, was the ultimate builder. He can arrange and construct new forms of technology. You know, you can say a modern day example would be like a Nikola Tesla, was able to construct new forms of technology that may not have always been okayed by the government. The government was not always okay with these new forms of technology. The same thing with Nikola Tesla. It wasn't always okay because he wanted to give everyone free electricity, They say, why would we just give it for free when we can charge and we can build up more? So they rejected his free energy idea and took his blueprint and profited off of it. And this is what happens. But nonetheless, we have the technology available to us to show and prove how advanced our thinking can become. Not that we are more advanced, but that we are moving in the right steps forward. Going back to Set being the ultimate mathematician can arrange things and be able to build new things. Just like, I believe there's a movie called The Magician where Nikola Tesla is depicted, and he was able to create a machine that was able to duplicate things. So whatever you place in this machine will be duplicated. So just imagine that. Just imagine if we had the technology to duplicate things, which we do mentally, but it takes time to get to these deeper levels of concentration. The only thing holding us back from these deeper levels of thought is concentration. Being able to have that tunnel vision of focus and start arranging things from a quantum level. Directly accessing the ether and arranging the ethers on the mental plane. You are mentally arranging the ethers in the mental plane to reflect the things that you want to descend and give a physical structure to. So we understand Set is all about structuring and arranging and organizing things. That's why he is represented as the Capricorn energy, the master designer, the master builder, one who was able to mentally organize and structure things to reflect clearly and visually their ideologies. And again, sometimes these things were not always okayed by the ruling powers. So Set over time was suppressed and suppressed and suppressed and suppressed and suppressed and suppressed to the point where he was vilified. Eventually, he became the villain. This is the reality. So as we advance in consciousness, being able to expand and arrange new ideologies. Okay, what do I want to see in the world? More so than what do I want to multiply? What is it that I truly want to see in the world? And how can I embody that with an ideology? So for example, if you wanted to build a temple, that temple has to represent some type of ideology. So therefore you have to construct the ideology to be housed within that temple. And once the ideology is constructed, it's only a matter of time before the temple will be built. But without the ideology within the temple will never rise. So all of the things that we strive to materialize, the quicker you want to materialize will be based on how deep and how detail-orientated you have been with embodying your ideology within the things that you have. How much do these things represent who and what you are? So that when you gaze at your external situation, it is truly a reflection of that which is within. The result of you exploring your internal chambers. You may see certain things in your dreams, certain symbols, certain conversations, certain things that have an effect on you. And you find a physical thing, even if you have to create that physical thing yourself. Sometimes you will have to be the master designer and just use the elements of the earth and construct something yourself to embody what you felt or what you've seen within your dreams. And you have created a physical representation of something that affected you greatly within you. So therefore, you have embodied that energy into that physical thing. That creation now represents that experience. Synchronicity. You have created of the electrical current. Now energy is moving between that object and you, because whatever affected you represents an aspect of you that is real. So that aspect of you that is real, you creating a physical representation of it, it creates an electrical current, it creates an energy exchange, it creates an intelligent exchange. So it allows you to communicate with those deeper chambers of yourself at a more regular and intimate basis. Once we understand that we are not local, this is a projection. Once we understand that we are not local, we can understand why we had to create gods and deities to represent the various chambers of the mind, because we are so complex. It would explode our minds to truly explore the depths of our soul. That's why they had to be embedded into the elements of nature. Every element of nature represents an element within. A chamber within yourself is always projected. And once you make that connection, that current can be developed and intensified. And you develop a regular relationship with that chamber within yourself once you have identified it, once you have specified it. So once again, this was not always accepted by the powers that be, so that power had to get suppressed. Just like ISIS, we see that women have always been suppressed. You know, the gay energy has always been suppressed. So, because they were suppressed, they were given a gift. And what is the gift? The gift of magic. They were given the gift of magic so that they will one day be resurrected. This is the honest, truth of things, regardless of how we may feel. Isis representing that magic. Isis representing the witchcraft, the necromancy, the sorcery, the ability to literally possess someone's soul, and them not only not knowing, but not caring, because it is a pleasurable experience. These are the true roots of the magical women that we see today, who are able to navigate their ways, through realms unthinkable, through the use of magic that has been passed down. The same way you have men who have passed down information to their sons, and generation, you also have women who have passed down their roots and their cultures as well. That Isis tree, some women come from the Isis tree, some men come from the Set tree, some men or women come from the Osiris tree, some men or women come from the Horus tree. We all come from a particular tree. If we were to reduce it to 4 trees, of course it gets way more expensive, but if we were to just simplify it, we all know where we may fit in. To speak more about the Aeon of Horus, so we know Isis is the magic, Set is the, not necessarily the dark, and the villain or the negative, but the dark, as in the unknown. It creates the fear within, because they're like, yo, we don't know how far this may go. We need to contain it. That's the reaction. So they're like, yo, we gotta suppress this. Because we can't contain it. That which cannot be contained. That which is chaotic. Melanin, carbon. That's the energy of Set. Osiris representing tradition and religion, being able to simplify complex concepts so that people can live a lifestyle in accordance to astrology, the earth, and themselves being the alchemists in the middle. So them having the Christ consciousness as well as the devilish lures of the earth, and explore the physical realm. Not neglect the physical, but explore the physical and have an internal experience. Right? That's why Osiris is sometimes depicted as green. Osiris, of course, represents the energy of Sirius, The Syrians also always represent advanced technology, advanced concepts in your mental chambers. So Osiris represented complex mental structures, not necessarily inventing things, but inventing ideologies. You see the difference? Osiris represent the building of ideology. Set represent the building of material things, harnessing the energies of the earth, the metals, the crystals, the gems, the technology. Right? Again, you take it to Yu-Gi-Oh! You had Yuki, you had Kaiba. Kaiba was the master of the earth. Yugi was the master of the ideology. You know, you have Goku, Vegeta. Goku was the master of the ideology. Vegeta was the master of the earth, the physical. Right? It's just, you know, it's always it's the one who represents the ideology. It's the one that embraces the physical, the secrets of the earth, because they always know things that you don't know because they have explored the mysteries of the earth. So of course they're not going to accept what you know because they say they know things that are greater. They know greater mysteries that have not even been uttered. So they are standing firm to that, what they know within. Isis representing the magic, the witchcraft, the ability to possess and create pleasurable sensations within a person to the point where they will want to give you everything they have. You know, this is the ability to navigate this earth seamlessly and without conflict. So when we get to Horus, the youth, Horus and Set went to war, but Horus and Set also merged together. I'm not sure of the name. You can look it up. It's a deity that of Horus and Set merged together. When you see Horus, it's a two-headed deity representing androgyny. Right? We see the androgyny in all cultures. All cultures have the two sides of the deity. Right? So what is this representing? This is representing the merging of Osiris and Set. The ideology merged with the mysteries of the earth. And this is why we see the things we see now. The ideologies now have a voice with hip hop. Right? Hip hop gives the body to something that is formless, something that is intangible, sound, and it creates healing. The sounds of hip hop create healing. The sounds of ASMR create healing. The sounds of classical music create healing. The sounds of music in general creates healing, which is just an arrangement of sounds. Sounds arranged in a certain way, which causes the body to react. Chemicals to be released that relaxes you, that releases stress naturally. The ideology has now been merged with the sorcery. And this is where we are now. So I encourage everyone, as much as we embody the ideology of whatever it is that we represent, whatever tree that we come from, we merge it with the mysteries of the darkness of the earth. And this is why it has to come from a warrior spirit, because this creates oppression, because people are not going to agree. People are not going to understand. You can be the most pure in heart and intention, but because the mystery creates fear, it creates suspicion. And through the creation of that suspicion, it creates enemies, even if the intention was to do the opposite. So therefore, you must formulate an offense to strive ahead, because obstacles will be created for you, and you must be able to tear them down and to conquer. And you also have to be able to establish a defense when someone comes and tries to throw you off mentally, physically, or spiritually. You have to be able to form a defense. For survival, this has been going on since the beginning of time. The survival of the mysteries. The mysteries have been carried from generation to generation in secret. We understand that consciousness has become universal, but the mysteries will forever remain mysteries, only reserved for those who understand the depths of the earth as well as the depths of the stars, and understand the position they play in the middle, harnessing the energy of the earth and harnessing the energies of the stars and manipulating them simultaneously. Being able to do the mysterious, the miraculous, the majestic, the masterful, all things. Remember, the M is the 13th letter. This is why I use those words. You see the energy that they convey when we study the mysteries of the numbers and the alphabet. Masterful, majestic, mysterious. It conveys power. You know that 13 is that serpentine energy that we have been programmed to fear and reject since day one. But we understand that those of us who interpret these books are just interpreters. They themselves never understanding the depths of these books of magic, these books of sorcery, these books that teaches you the mysteries of the earth and the stars. But it is so complex. It is written so masterfully, so mysteriously, so majestically. The only way you can see through the mysteries and discern it is only through personal experience. As they say, you have to be one with the all, and the all will speak to you as you read, as you visualize, because you have opened yourself up. You have harnessed the negative energy to open, to become a vortex. And you have harnessed the positive energy to implant the seed of thought into the subconscious and to materialize it. You have to open up the womb and you have to plant the seed. The negative teaches of mysteries of magnetism to be able to move things magnetically. The mysteries of the positive teaches how to, like a lightning bolt, spark that exact specific spot that you need to harness and to grasp and to materialize from the depths of the quantum, just like from the depths of the earth. The earth mimics the stars. The same way we say we think in the ethers and things are descended upon us. It's just like the earth. The earth is just flipped around and things come down to up instead of up to down. As above, so below. So the same way things descend from the stars, things rise from the earth through the same process. As I said before, if we were able to see beneath the earth, it would look it would create fear, to say it simply. It would create fear. Just like if you were to explore the depths of the sea, you would see things you would never seen before and it would create fear. But in time, that fear turns into curiosity. You understand that this is something within myself. Therefore, the ideology, as well as the mysteries of the earth, must be utilized. Because we have no more restrictions, we have no more boundaries, we have no more limitations. we can literally harness the underground and make a way for ourselves through the use, as they say, science, technology, engineering, mathematics. Which tree are you? That's what you must ask. Which tree are you? Are you the mathematician? Are you the engineer? Are you the scientist? Are you the one who can harness technology and create new forms of technology, the builder? Which tree do you come from? And when you understand which tree you come from, you climb up that tree and you explore your tree and you explore and then uncover its mysteries. The mysteries are hidden within your tree. Once you identify the tree, you can explore its mysteries. And you can see how far harnessing mathematics can take you. You can see how far engineering can take you. You can see how far harnessing science can take you. You can see how far harnessing technology can take you. It can take you to places that you never imagined you could go. And you see, okay, my creativity must be merged with something from the earth. I have to be able to utilize something scientifically, something mathematically, something through the use of technology, through the use of engineering. I need to channel this creative energy into some type of technical and mechanical experience to explore how far I can truly go in my mind, to be able to visualize something mentally and to know how to materialize that physically, because you know how to utilize mathematics, or you know how to engineer, you know how to utilize technology. So you are able to manifest your ideologies through the use of STEM, right? So all four of the aeons and all four of the STEM tree can be accessed. And this is the point. You may be from one family or one tree, but you also have the ability to explore the mysteries of the others. So you know where your home is, but your future, that's still to be written in stone. Because the possibilities are simply endless. Something could change your thought instantly, which completely sways you in a different path, and your reality changes just at an instant. Sometimes it takes a longer time, sometimes it can be instant. All depending on your level of concentration and how deeply you represent the ideology that you represent. How firm are you on your square? Are you accessing all four points of the earth? Are you harnessing all four elements through the use of the spirit, who is what we are? We are the spirit utilizing the four elements simultaneously. Desire, emotion, thought, and arrangement of data and information. The fire representing your desire, your spark, the spark of new life, the spark of a new ideology, the spark of a new lifestyle. The emotion, to nourish that spark of new life. That new life is now given a body. The body of the emotion, to give it depth, to give it realness, so that you can feel it. You can feel what you have desired. What you desire can be felt within you, in your heart. This generates thought. Now you can visually see that which you feel in your heart. It can be visualized. And if something can be visualized, we know if it can be visualized, it can be materialized. But we understand that process of harnessing the four elements, that spark of life, to give that life a body, to give that life visuals. complexity, patterns, to arrange what we feel, to interpret, to be the master interpreter of what we feel, and we can arrange it mentally. It's a process to be able to arrange in your mind what you feel in your heart. But once those two centers become one, then you are able to truly materialize it because it actually instantly activates. Once the mind and the heart merge and become one in unison, the process of materialization is just a matter of time. Right? We know that things take time to grow, but it's simply a matter of time. You know that it will grow. So you hold your faith. You know that you planted the seed. You don't need to guess if it's growing. You know it is, but you must be patient. So being able to harness science, technology, engineering, mathematics, fire, water, air, earth, desire, emotion, thought, materialization. All these things are simultaneous. Osiris, Isis, Horus, Set. That's why the number 4 will always represent culture. The 4th letter is D, divine. It will represent the divine culture. What is the divine culture? The harnessing of the 4 energies of the 4 corners of the earth. By you being the 5th element. This science is ancient. The science will always be in the minds of those who come from that time. And this mentality will always have opposition. Anything that truly empowers you will give you opposition. So this is taking it a step further than making you feel good about who and what you are. This is saying, okay, we know who we are. Now we can materialize the ideology. Now you can create and build the temple that represents that ideology. You can put it on paper. You can materialize it, arrange it, create a military, something that generates life to those who was once dead. However you choose. Through the use of technology, you create an app. You create a website. You create music. You create poetry. You create visual arts. You invent new things. You build laptops. You build computers. You build homes. You are the architect. We all will be geared towards a certain path. Through the mastery of one thing, you know all things. Through the mastery of one thing, you know all things. Through the mastery of your tree, all other trees can be understood. If you're trying to understand all 4 without understanding the one, your foundation, it's going to be hard to decipher. But when you are well rooted in your foundation, you can explore the other mysteries without losing your footing, without drowning in the water, without burning your feet, without getting stuck in the mud. So, I definitely would like to welcome everyone to the new wave. The new wave of excellence, the new wave of greatness. To materialize your ideologies. And the ideology is different from an idea. An ideology is a complex, in-depth view of that idea. The idea, you can say, is an atom. The ideology is you exploring that atom from a microcosm, a microcosmic level. You're like, yo, this atom, regardless of how small it is, you know, it has, you know, the proton, electron, neutron. You know, it has a very complex structure in nature. That's just it simplified. It goes way deeper than that. You know, photons, you know, leptons, things like that. It goes a lot further. Sparks of light, emanations of light. And that light being sparked from the carbon and the hydrogen. The carbon is conducting the electricity, taking, the carbon is able to absorb the hydrogen and create electricity. The carbon is doing all type of mysterious stuff, absorbing the hydrogen, conducting and creating electricity, generating currents. And that's what the body is doing. What's generating the currents is the carbon pulling from the hydrogen. So we are walking technology. And when we understand, not just, as they say, man, woman, know thyself. We're not talking about knowledge that you can receive from a university. This is a knowledge you receive directly from nature. This is a knowledge you receive directly from the spirit. You know, this is a personal experience. There is no book. The only book is nature. Because nature will show you through observation, through personal experience, through what you feel in your depths. The science of how to simply go in your own inner chambers to truly have a psychedelic experience of exploring the mysteries of you not being local. You are the infinite, as we know. So if you are infinite, that means you are vast. We are vastly to be explored. And that's what life is, exploring your own mazes, putting together your own puzzle pieces so that you can show forth your greatness to yourself, first and foremost. You will show forth your greatness. You are materializing truly your own gems. When we build things and when we create and manifest things, we are literally just giving life to that which already had life within us. Something that already had meaning to you within. It's like an artist who paints. You already saw the visual within and it already meant something to you within. That's why you wanted to materialize it. The poet who sees the words before they are written down, obviously the words had some type of effect on them which allowed them to write it down. So it's always an internal experience first. It's always felt before it's ever written and produced and materialized. It always is felt. It's always a sound frequency. It's always a sound frequency. The DJ, if we want to take it to hip hop, you got the MC, the dancer, the break dancer, or the b-boy, the b-girl, the DJ, the graffiti artist. The graffiti artist supplies the visuals. The DJ supplies the sound. The dancer supplies the ability to manipulate the environment to give it a hip-hop feel. The dancers do that. They are able to clear up the negative energy in any environment through the dancing. So with all that dancing, they are clearing up the energy so that pure energy can be channeled. And the MC, of course, is speaking into existence that which is felt. This is ancient science. So you are speaking into existence. You are clearing the atmosphere. You are creating the sound and the visuals through graffiti, through harnessing the elements of the earth. This creates a psychedelic experience for you to explore your inner chambers and to bring these elements outside of you by creating something to embody that which represented. So you don't have to necessarily keep having the psychedelic experience. You just need to have it one time, put it into something, and channel it. And through that energy, you can channel that without having to constantly go through that experience over and over and over again. You have a symbol to represent that experience. So we have symbols and sigils to represent certain experiences, certain chambers within our minds. So when we need to access that energy, we can just simply access it through the sigil, through the symbol, which directly affects the subconscious mind. Just being able to gaze into the symbol and opening yourself with your magnetism so that symbol can implant the seed. Right? So I just wanted to say that. You know? So I know everybody been commenting, so let me touch with everybody before we check out. I definitely want to just say it unfiltered. Okay. Let me see. Where we at? So let me give everybody a shout out, at least. So let me go up to the top. I know everybody been in. So what's up, Michael? What's up, O'Shea? What's up, Savage God? What's up, King? What's up, Loa X? What's up, Stony? What's up, Marvin and Magi? What's up, Tareem's Garden? What's up, Tech Mims? What's up, Tangela? What's up, J Fly? What's up, 305 Capricorn? What's up, Petunia? What? Y'all already know. Yon Samsara. Was it Mo Mula? What's good? What's up, Afro Pit? What's up, Dragon OG? So what's good, everybody? What's good? Yeah, shout out to all the moderators out there. I see y'all with the blue wrenches holding shit down. I appreciate it. As always. Okay. So yeah, just the same way, what was it? Kid Trunks and Goten had to merge to become, what was it, Goten? What was it? I don't even remember. But y'all know what I'm talking about. The DBZ fans, y'all know when the two sons merge, they connect fingers. You know, and just like Goku and Vegeta had to merge, you know, it's all ancient science. It's just being replayed and animated in front of you. And once you understand what it is, then you're like, oh, this is exploring various chambers of the mind, chambers of self-initiation. So, you know, this is always being depicted in the animes and the mangas and the cartoons. These things are constantly being conveyed, ancient mythology and ancient thought. So once you're able to connect the two, so you're not necessarily worshiping anything, you are viewing it as a scientist, as a mathematician, as an engineer, and you are arranging things through the use of technology, these energies, and harnessing these energies. You are able to harness these energies through the use of these sciences. All right. What's up, Indigenous Goddess Mel? What's up, Hussein? Let me see, I think I get everybody. What's up, Kiwaba, Rael? Yeah, I think that's everybody. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. What's up, Ellis? Ellis said, "Is this a joke?" Yeah, this is. Don't take any of this seriously. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I think we got everybody. So, unless anybody has any questions, we'll check out. You know. Okay, but definitely. I'll give y'all this last jewel before we check out. We always strive to add new dimensions to our life, but also to maintain the balance. So not to add new dimensions to lose your balance, but to add new dimensions to gain even more balance, to gain even more responsibility, to gain even more power. Great power, great responsibility, to be able to wield the power of the darkness and transmute it into the light. That's the process. That's why we must start in the dark and transmute the energy, because that's where the raw source energy is. It's located within the darkness. Then we have to arrange it and design it, turning that lead into gold, as we say. But that lead, that base material, is found everywhere. See, this is what it's truly talking about. It's talking about taking your everyday life experience and turning that lead experience, that base, senseless, experience, that dead experience, and giving that dead experience life through the use of your internal forces that other 90% of the brain. You're just activating more chambers of yourself, which allows you to give life to more aspects of yourself that you are able to synchronize with. And therefore, you have a magical experience because you are tapping into aspects of yourself. That's when you do any mantra, you are tapping into an aspect of yourself and bringing it to life and having fun with it and interacting with it. Different chambers of you you're activating and interacting with. When you are able to place something and concentrate on it and open up your vortex and allow that seed to materialize from within that darkness. The seed must materialize from within the darkness. The seed is within the darkness. The darkness gives the seed a home, embraces the seed, and cultivates and nourishes the seed. Just like the womb embraces the sperm cell, it gives the body to the child. It's a process. It's a fusion of energies to represent. This is what happens when that fire and that water, that air and that earth merge together and create that which already exists, but it gives it a body. To create the intangible, the spirit has now been given a body. The ideology has now been merged with the mysteries of the earth. The extraterrestrial has now merged with the terrestrial. Half man, half God, right? Or half woman, half God, goddess. This is what we all strive to just simply understand what we already are. And the more we understand, the more we embody these chambers. So when you see people putting tattoos on their body, it just represents different chambers of the mind that they are materializing for themselves. When you see people with different styles of clothing, different, everything that they represent, everything that they embody just represents chambers of the minds that they are amplifying for themselves to materialize the lifestyle and the frequency, to materialize the frequency that they already hear within themselves. We are simply materializing a frequency that is already heard within, not with the ears. It's not seen with the eyes. It's not heard with the ears. It's not felt with anything physical. It is a soul emanation to materialize that soul emanation. Excuse me. So here we are. Okay. So what's understood is understood. What's seen is what's seen. What's felt is what's felt. Being able to take a mundane experience and make it miraculous, that is simply tapping into aspects of the mind. It is simply a mental science. If you want to simplify it, life is base material. Life is lead. What makes life golden, what makes life magical is us manipulating these elemental forces from within and externalizing their energy. We are these living conductors of as above, so below. Being able to solve and de-solve as above, so below, right? To be able to take the signs of the stars and merge them with the signs of the seasons, the signs of the earth, and we merge them together. And this creates an intelligence, a frequency in the mind that allows us to naturally tune into the omens that are all around us, the symbols that are all around us, and extract wisdom from our life, and therefore give us a more profound, more intimate experience. This is the true alchemy of the great work, right? Which don't necessarily require you to think positive at all, really. You just understand the process. You just stay focused. You don't necessarily have to, be optimistic necessarily. You just stay focused and you stay firm and you square. Because, as I say, you will be faced with opposition. The opposition is there just to see if you really want what you want. If you really want it, you will be able to conquer the opposition. So everyone must conquer some type of opposition when they are striving to embody those chambers of the mind. It's gonna always generate, and you have to always conquer sophisticatedly. So y'all take it easy. Peace.